Hi love, it's me, your Femboy. We're talking about superheroes, but not the kinds with super strength or the kind that have pew pew laser eyes. We're be talking about ones with the power of God on their side. The one I'm talking about, of course, is Bible Man! So, I didn't just get a Bible Man shirt, but I also found a box set for Bible Man Legacy. Ooh. So what this is a box set that just includes a couple episodes, but I did not watch this. I actually found a website that let me watch all of the live action stuff for free, which, well, free trial. So Bible Man, for those who don't know, is a biblical superhero, who instead of fighting, say, like clowns or penguins, fights embodiments of sin, like pridefulness or greed or like laziness, you know, just stuff like that. He does this, of course, by quoting scripture.
Lord my God is the God of all gods. He is the Lord of all lords. He is the one great God, and he is the strong and wonderful God. Deuteronomy 10:17.
And fighting with lightsabers. Because of course he would. There's the way, the truth, and the light saber. Every episode strip have like Jedi versus Sith, like lightsaber duels in it, which at the time was pretty sick. Especially because I grew up in a Christian household where I was only allowed to sort of watch Christian media, such as this guy, who at the time I thought was super sick. And honestly though, this show is better than you would think, to a point. This could easily have been titled The Rise and Fall of Bible Man, because there is a clear rise and a big drop. And we're going to talk about all of that today. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about the Bible Man Adventures and Bible Man Power Source. And a little bit about the animated show, but not that much, because you will see why I couldn't sit through too much of it. We're gonna get nice and snug in my cozy corner and talk about this guy. Specifically, the first question is, who is Bible Man? Bible Man used to be Miles Peterson, a man who had success, money, and fame, but still wanted more. So he went to Sunday school and wore purple spandex.
A man in spandex is no laughing matter.
Or white, depending on the episode, really. There's technically 4 Bible Man series. There's the Bible Man show, which was a bit more tame and for kids, the Bible Man Adventures, Bible Man Power Source, and Bible Man, the Animated Adventures. The website I watched them all on grouped the last 2 episodes of the Bible Man show, like the first one for kids, into the Bible Man Adventures. And honestly, I could kind of see why. You can tell that they were warming up to the idea of making him more like a Saturday morning cartoon and making action a bigger part of the series. Because we had a lot of the staples of the Bible Man Adventures in the show. You had the superhero stuff, you had the morals, the villains dressed in wacky costumes, and sometimes questionably racist. I will say it is kind of jarring going from a show that is like 90% wholesome Christian music with sometimes a stern talking to from Bible Man to scenes more like this.
Crazy head one.
And just when he thought he had nothing to live for, he found the power of God!
The Bible Man Adventures is the peak of the series, like by far. The humor is wacky, self-aware, and super fourth wall breaking. Like, it's crazy just how much they were able to get away with.
Your stories are identical. It's almost as if someone wrote it that way.
When people think of Bibleman, they think of this series. I'm not going to go through every single episode, but the standout to me is shattering the Prince of Pride. The Prince of Pride is a villain who uses the power of pride, to try and ruin a Bibleman comic strip that's coming out. He uses his ego-enhancing ray to manipulate the kid who's like the artist in the comic, and even like makes Bibleman fall to his influence too. There's a lot of standout villains in the series in general, and honestly it's funny because they're all played by the same actor. I almost want to say it's like confirmed that they're the same villain just in different costumes, which I really like. That's super fun. Definitely fits how corny the series is. It's like perfect. Chef's kiss. There's a scene that's been stuck in my brain when I think of this episode since I was a kid, which is the Prince of Pride's little music number. It's sort of like his own anthem to himself. I saw someone on IMDb, they called it on par with Purple Rain. Which prince do you think is better? This episode had a ton of fourth wall breakage, and really the amount here is even more than some of the episodes later. And the jokes are definitely something.
I'll figure this out. You got any force?
Go fish.
1, 2, 3. Oh, rock kick. Okay.
Honestly, that sense of humor is what made this show actually really fun to watch, despite me being an adult who's agnostic and nowhere near religious like now. Here is a couple little highlights I really want to share of all the fourth wall stuff I found, because jeez.
Supercalifragilistic Science Laboratory!
Hey, isn't there a Sonic or something like that?
Yeah, but we can't use it or the mouse will sue.
Famous for being cheap. A lot like our producer. You see, Cypher, there's always something more. If there weren't, then the episode would basically end right here. We don't want that, do we?
Besides Bibleman, there's also his sidekick, sort of like his Robin, and he's called Cypher. There's also a Bible girl that joins the cast later on too, which is pretty cool. Well, technically, Bible girls. They recast Bible girl pretty like soon after she's introduced, but the way they address it in the series, like, it's fun. So it's all right with me.
So, how was your vacation?
Great. I feel like a completely different person.
I don't see it.
You look the same to me.
But speaking of recasts, I do have to share some bad news. They retired Bibleman. So Miles Peterson retires and gets replaced by a new Bibleman, Josh Carpenter. He is definitely different. I don't want to say he is like the guy behind him is a bad actor, but he's a little, it's a change. It's definitely different, I guess.
Well, that sure was colorful. But he should have just stuck with crayons. They're fun and non-toxic.
This new Bibleman also is introduced in a really weird way. You would think with a sort of in-universe change of a main character that they would have him introduced in, say, like a finale or the start of a new series and finding like some sort of new big bad that only like a young, fresh Bibleman could take down. But not really. It's not even the end of the season. It's the episode before the end of the season. And instead of fighting a really intimidating new villain, so he's actually fighting basically Steve Urkel, who uses an AR crack dimension to convert kids to atheism. And I am not kidding. That's the plot of the episode. It literally looks like something that you would see on like a shitty Steam Greenlight game, or just really high. Either or, really. And they reuse the exact same plot and this entire same story and footage for a finale of the show, which was live, actually. They do toss in a new villain to try and spice it up a little bit, but ending the season with literally the exact same episode as before is pretty disappointing. But speaking of disappointing,
these are the new adventures of Bible Man.
So Bible Man Power Source isn't all bad. We didn't have Blue Urkel anymore as the villain, which was pretty cool. Well, I don't mind awkward villains. He was really awkward. Like uncomfy amounts.
I am the darkness that covers this town. Yeah. Oh.
I think they just had him improvise a lot of his lines, and you could tell it's like bad improv. Like, absolutely.
You know something, Lucy? I'm thinking about taking a trip down under. That's where people eat lots of peanut butter. I don't know what's going on.
And he was the villain for like 4 episodes, like so long. Like, geez, a bit of variety would have been really nice. But speaking of which, there are a ton of really new fun villains in Power Source, and they're actually played by different actors, which is a nice change of pace. Some of them do really stand out and have pretty neat designs. Like, I liked Super Pro Game Master 3, who aside from having an amazing name, reminded me of a villain that would be like in the original series. But then you have ones with names that aren't so amazing, like Too Cool for School.
Listen to my mother, I don't listen to my father. Watch what I want to on TV.
Or the Slacker. The Slacker wasn't a bad villain, he just sort of had the power to make people sleepy. It's just like sleepy time. That's his whole power. He had like little like sidekicks and like goons, but like, wait, oh my god. Is that blackface? Bible Man, no! Overall, the series wasn't terrible because of the recasting, or they even try to shove in a second Bible girl into the series whose outfit looks like something from Party City. It's a big reason I didn't like it, because honestly, I thought it was boring. The fourth wall breaking humor that made the first series so endearing, it left with Miles Peterson. And so what is left is mostly just a pretty meh superhero show with scripture and a shoehorns in prayer scene at the end of every single episode. I'm not asking for it to be as cheeky, but the meta jokes and all of that being 100% gone makes me feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel the same anymore. I would take Power Source any day though over the animated one.
Bible Man.
Uh-oh. I'm not gonna talk about this one. I watched one episode, saw the animation, afterwards just like dipped out. Like, I know the art style isn't everything, but yikes. This one is a bit tough to watch.
I've got my breastplate. I've got my shoes. I've got my shield of faith.
Did you know they made action figures for the show? Like, it was just a couple characters, not a whole lot, but that's super cool. I didn't know they made toys for Bible Man. And they also made CDs too. I mean, the show does have a lot of music, so makes sense. Apparently, I don't know if this is true. I saw this on the Wikipedia article. There's an album called The Bible Man Slam that included experimental but powerful music. I looked it up on YouTube, and is this it? I don't think so. There is also a video game actually called Bible Man: A Fight for Faith, which is another retelling of the AR Atheist Realm plot with Blue Steve Urkel. Like, literally, they have done this plot so many times. It wasn't even that good of an episode. Like, why do they keep doing it? So this game also didn't do super good. It has really mixed to negative reviews. I found one positive review though from Ian Holmquist from Amazon, and he called it an exciting, erotic game that kicks in right in the testicles. I don't know. That sounds like a pretty good game to me. So, yeah, I know that this is a strange one, but this series is about nostalgia. And growing up Christian, a lot of my nostalgia comes from things like Bible Man, or there were like crazy Bible manga I grew up with too that like the church I went to sold in the bookstore there. And I would love to talk about that too. So if there's any other kids who grew up, if there's anyone else who is a Christian kid who has nostalgia for this like weird stuff, I would love to talk about it here in my cozy corner, which I believe is what I'm going to call the series. I always do it in like a corner, and I don't know, with a nice little candle here. And I feel like it makes it look like pretty cozy, right? Have the next couple episodes planned for this series as well, including a Christmas episode. But if you have any ideas for nostalgic things you want me to talk about here in my corner, just let me know and I will do my best, because it is really fun to go on these rabbit holes into these nostalgic topics, and I hope it is like at least kind of interesting. I know it's probably just me rambling about stuff you literally could not care less about, but it also could make just good background noise too. I don't know. I definitely like videos like this when I am editing or like drawing or cooking, so maybe you're the same way. I love you, I whoop you, and I want to rub you too. Okay,